So, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday, I think it is. Yeah, happy Friday. Wow, the last couple days, man. I tell you what, it's been crazy, crazy, crazy. You know, I felt I plateaued on my juice prior to discovering that the white salt was the actual correct salt. But I'm like, healing takes time. It might be that there's just the healing process just slowed down. I don't know. I was trying to figure out, well, I wasn't trying to figure out. I was like, okay, is this the best I'm going to be? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. And then the whole coronavirus, the whole Wuhan thing came about. And then that put me into another level of like, holy crap, because adrenaline and different hormones, like the death hormones, hey, Tiffany Lee Krim, get you into action. So the oxytocin, the pleasure, the bonding reproduction hormone gets you into action to start creating something, because you know that death is imminent and you got to go and save yourself. And so that's why people reproduce, is because they see that death is imminent and they want to extend their life, but it may not be through this body, it'd be through like their offspring's body. Well, that's the same thing with this. Why we discovered the white salt is better, because it came from, holy crap, there's death across the world in the Wuhan, in the Hubei province in Wuhan, and it's making its way out, and it's going to hit some of our recipe, ingredients, and we've got to figure out what we're going to do if something were to interrupt the supply chains. So when death is imminent and you see that your life is being challenged in some way, this is when the creative juices start happening. This is when people start finding strategic ways to survive. Okay? So only upon where you feel imminent death do those types of hormones come to surface, whether it's adrenaline, whether it's oxytocin, whether it's other hormones that contribute to the reproductive process or the fight or flight process. So there's probably a billion other hormones I'm not even mentioning, but the main ones that I've learned about just through my research with the holistic and the allopathic world is definitely the oxytocin, because I received a lot of people's oxytocin coming at me that kind of deceived me in a lot of ways. But then I realized that I knew that it was an imbalance and I had to kind of separate myself for a bit. And I got a lot of adrenaline from a lot of people, a lot of hatred, a lot of, oh, I love you and this is great, So it's like, so I knew that adrenaline and oxytocin were the hormones that came to surface from an imbalance, from people's fight or flight, from people's I don't know, the anxiety of facing death in an indirect way. So it's very, very poignant. It's very on point. The universe definitely has a balance. And it's true. From death is when life begins. But what we're saying now is, do you have to be the one that dies? There's going to be people that die out there. People die all the time. People don't know this recipe. People have major predispositions, and okay, that's going to happen. It's already happening in China. We can't save people in China. So in a lot of ways, they're being sacrificed so that we can discover this. Not that this was any kind of intention on the Julie Juice end, but when we see death, even though it's like, 10,000 miles away, we start figuring out, what do we have to do to save ourselves so we don't end up like them. And that's exactly how this whole protocol came about. Is I look at my friends and my family and they're all suffering, I'm suffering. What do I got to do to not end up like my parents, not end up like my sisters, not end up like the people that I know that are suffering, that have gone through operations, have gone through the hospitals, have gone through all these different things? What do I have to do to not end up like them? And that's what death happens, is because it makes you more aware of how precious your life is and what are you going to do to save it. That's always been my platform in my whole life. Like, I watched my parents, I watched people around me, and I learned from the people around me what not to do and what to do. So it it's like so perfect that we changed the salt from the pink salt from the deaths over there in China. We realized that when salt is life, they don't differentiate, oh, it's the black salt, it's the white salt, it's the pink salt, it's this. Salt is salt. Now, you can have all these minerals and make it dirty, so to speak, right? And they call it the pretty pink salt, or they call it the pretty black salt, or they call it the pretty yellow salt, or whatever, you know, how they market it. But salt is sodium chloride. When you have, you know, what is it, 98% sodium chloride and 2% minerals, you're not getting enough of sodium chloride. So that's probably why some of you have plateaued, and based upon your lifestyle and your priorities, you couldn't get any more down because you still have to take care of your kids, your family, your husbands, and all that stuff. So you only got, you know, you're healing, but it's very incrementally, and you're still exhibiting characteristics of issues. You're still getting your operations. You're still getting all these different things. People have fallen off because they're not seeing the healing fast enough, and I get it. And of course, I'm like saying, well, not everything is immediate. It takes time to heal. Well, of course, it can take time to heal when you have to wade through all those stupid minerals in the pink salt. But now, from that anxiety of Wuhan, okay, we have now narrowed everything down to white table salt with 1% anti-caking agent, because salt is life. Salt is life. Now you have to balance out with water. It's not just salt by itself, and then you have to balance out with your biochemistry. But we came from a single life form that then became that worked in a community of viruses, of bacteria, of protozoa, fungi, parasites, and proteins, no different than your community that you live with right now, that are people full of viruses, bacteria, fungi, protozoa, proteins, and parasites. How many of you have people in your life that are parasitic? How many people you have in your life that are like kind of like a virus in some way? Even me, because I'm new data. I'm new data that some people allow me to come in and change, and other people are like, no, you can't, and then try to find a way to stop it. Okay? How many of you people, you know, that have something that's like a protozoa in your life? I mean, if you look at the characteristics of all the different life forms out there, there are people in your life that exhibit very condensed forms of characteristics of a parasite, or of a virus, or of a bacteria, or of a protozoa or protein. And it's relative to then also their biochemistry and how that those things exhibit themselves. So it's not necessarily a bad thing that people exhibit those characteristics. It's how it manifests based upon the balances and the imbalances. Okay? So, I can blow my nose. So, if we live in a community full of viruses, bacteria, fungi, protozoa, parasites, and protein from a single protein made up of like 10 amino acids that was discovered 3.9 billion years ago, okay, and then we are working with a community of viruses, bacteria, fungi, protozoa, parasites, and protein, we then become this multi-celled life form that is so advanced. And there's no reason to go back to that single life form. But we keep doing that. And so it's so now with this whole thing with the Wuhan province, Hubei province, the Wuhan virus, okay, it's showing us that you're not as indestructible. Well, not that I said you were indestructible, but if you are not balancing out with the right minerals, which is salt is a mineral, okay? Even though I'm like, oh my God, there's so many minerals in the pink salt. Yeah, there's so many heavy metals. Here, let me just say this. There's so many heavy metals in the pink salt. I'm not even gonna say minerals. So many heavy metals. Let me just call a spade, because salt is mineral. People get confused and they're like, well, I thought you said you need minerals. There are heavy metals in salt. Oh, trace minerals, they want to call. The holistic community calls it trace minerals. No, it's called heavy metals. When there's so many heavy metals in the salt, it's going to stagnate the energy of the potential healing process a person could experience. And so we had to know that from the deaths out there in China, because I wasn't going to change the salt. I was fine the way it was. The only thing the reason why I changed it was because I was afraid that the supply chains were going to be interrupted. What are we going to do? And then I started thinking, like, hold on a second. We get heavy metals from the air, food, and water. We get heavy metals from our environment. Why the hell would you put in our freaking pink salt? And then when you're pooping out the J juice, right? You're pooping out extra minerals that you already have in your body, plus it's in the salt. And why the protocol stinks is because these little trillions of bacteria that are really representations of you are pooping out the minerals that are in the pink salt, as well as the cabbage and kale. So that's why the ferments were always stinky. It smelled like shit, my husband would say. Well, no, duh, when you have all these little trillions of bacteria pooping out minerals, just like you do, when you eat like a processed food or even a clean food, your poop stinks. So imagine you're having a trillion little bacteria, a trillion little people in your jar pooping out, eating the cabbage, pooping out the minerals in the cabbage, and then you're drinking their shit. So that's why the ferments were stinky with the heavy metal salt called the pink salt. Okay? So everything is connected. You just have to understand that everything is infinite fractals, like concentric circles with a centralized center point or a common universal center point. And then everything goes out and it goes out. It's like what is it? The rings in the water when you throw a stone, it just keeps going out and out and out and out until it hits some kind of solid object, and then it just stops. But that's what the J juice is showing you how everything's connected, how everything is connected. And yeah, from death there is life, but you don't have to die. And sometimes it takes you seeing death to realize how precious your life is. And that's why people, find Jesus when they get older. That's why people get religious when they get older. Is because they realize that they don't have much time on this earth, so they better get right with God for, I don't know, whatever reason. I don't know why. What's the point? I mean, I never figured it out. But then I never got to that point where I felt like I needed to get right with God. Because I already felt like I was right with God, but I needed to correct something. So I don't understand the whole thing with Brad Pitt and Kanye West now turning to Jesus. But I'm not trying to knock anyone's religion either. But I never understood that whole born again Christian thing. I understand getting right with life. Yeah, you're doing something that's violating the laws of life. What do you do to correct it? Well, I mean, yeah, you could read scripture, or you can do something biologically to change the biochemistry. One of the two. One's going to give you actual indefinite life, most likely, if you stick with it. The other one's going to say, okay, this is, what's going to be next for you. And who knows? I don't know. So, yeah. So anyways, I'm going to drink this. I tried a little bit of coffee. Now I'm telling you, the coffee. This brings up adrenaline. This is what wakes people up, right? You trigger your adrenaline. Which isn't a bad thing, because when you are imbalanced, some people can only drink coffee in the morning, because if they drink it at night or in the afternoon, the adrenaline just keeps, the faucet just keeps running. So, but now I could drink coffee morning, noon, and night. I could drink espresso morning, noon, and night, and the faucet doesn't keep running. I'm not buzzing or tweaking, like I used to when I was younger. So the protocol and the Jilly Juice will help manage and control your hormones, so you can turn them off for a minute, but it doesn't have like a no stop button. It actually, it turns off the faucet after a certain time. So this is the Jilly Juice. So this is I tagged Haley Kurtz Craft in this, and the reason why is because she doesn't understand the thing about the white salt versus the pink salt or the heavy metal salt. Well, white salt is straight up energy. People said, well, I have to use so much of the pink salt to flavor my food, but when it comes to the white salt, I only need a little bit. Well, yeah, because the white salt is straight sodium chloride. The white salt is straight energy. You don't need that much when you're flavoring your food, because it's straight up sodium chloride with 1% anti-caking agent. You need a lot of the pink salt to flavor your food, because it only has a little bit of salt And then it has the other flavors in there, I guess, other heavy metals that people enjoy. Okay, fine. But when it comes to J juice, you're not going to need as much. You know, I mean, when you actually put the white, when you use strictly just white salt, you won't have to drink a gallon a day. Not that people were doing it. Some people are trying to, but some people were not, and for good reason, because they have a busy life. They can't just be in the bathroom all day long. Okay, and it's whatever you're capable of doing. So now with the white salt, you could probably do half as much and get double or triple the benefit, because now you're drinking straight energy backed by the nutrition and the probiotics. We have finally have the perfect drink that is going to save us from what's going on in China. Okay, we have to have the perfect drink to save us from what is going on in China. And it took the deaths in China for us to understand this. But that's what happens. Sometimes when you see death, it makes you appreciate life. And Neri Zayas Carry-On. Bye. You're not getting the benefit of this. See you later, Mr. Ohio, whatever, Ya Israel. Jesus. Oh no, these people, they're all religious. You know, and I had people back in the beginning that were all religious. They're like, oh, I'm going to cut down the salt for my family. Okay, then you're not going to get the benefit. And I laugh, you know why? Because these people who think they know everything and they want to correct me and they want to tell me that what I'm doing is wrong and they want to make me work in the holistic world indirectly, I've shut them all up. And I will continue to shut them up. Now I don't care. I don't care if I offend the holistic. I don't care if I offend certain religious folks. I really don't care, because now I got the actual formula and I've completely debunked the fear of the white salt. And I will never, ever collaborate with someone that claims to be in the holistic world. You know why? Because they will try to pull me into their world. Now, there are people that will do spin-offs of my juice. But remember, people in the holistic world want to live. So, you know, you may have an audience of holistic people, which I know people do have an audience of holistic people, but you still have to cater to the life. You can't get caught up in all your pills, your powders, your supplements, your herbs, all of your playing with your hormones and the drugs. Because you start playing with ayahuasca and all these different drugs and herbs and turmeric and all that crap, you're doing it for spiritual reasons, you're doing it for holistic medical reasons. You have now undermined the protocol. Why even do the protocol? Just go back to doing your drugs and go back to playing with your hormones, go back to having indiscriminate sex and play with that world, because it doesn't belong in the Jilly Juice world. You know, I understand guiding reproduction carefully, because when you have people that have so many imbalances and they're having kids, this is why the world is the way it is. Because people are having children on bodies that are not really geared for indefinite life. Okay, and it becomes a compound predispositions as each generation has kids on bodies that are majorly messed up. So, you know, so I will never ever bend to the will anymore to anyone that claims to be holistic. I will not be pressured. I will not. Nor will I be bending to the will of those that are in the religious world that say that death is okay and that death is a part of, yeah, it is, but why do you want to bring your flock down the road with you? Why can't you be part of life? Because somebody has to live, even though, yes, death happens by those that are not very well versed in life. But why do you have to be the one? Why did you bring people around you down with you? Okay, fine. If you want to bring your friends and family down with you down the road of death, you have no part in my life. And that's why I block. That's why I totally just separate myself. I realize that I can't stop certain people from wanting to go down that road, but I'm not going to be part of it. Now I have common folk in my world that I do live with and that I do hang out with that don't really believe in the J juice, but we have a common ground in other ways. If I don't have a common ground with you and the only common ground I have is Facebook, and whether or not you believe or not believe, then yeah, see you later if you're not on my page, and see you, and great, welcome if you understand where I'm coming from. I mean, this whole protocol is not very popular yet because people still think that they should die. People still think that that they need the holistics and they need the vaccines, which, okay, fine. But I mean, vaccines are there to help people transition, you know, slowly or aggressively relative to their predispositions into the new environment. So the reason why I tagged Haley Kurtz Craft is because she's still an anti-vaxxer. She still thinks this is some kind of campaign, the Wuhan virus, some kind of campaign to force vaccinate people. She still thinks that probably the pink salt is the best salt. She doesn't understand the white salt, hasn't been watching my videos. And so I could tell by the comments she's dotted all over my Facebook that she doesn't get it. And I know this because I kept watching her page in the last couple of years. She's still in the anti-vax world, still playing the conspiracy world. Okay, fine. It's not for me to legislate morals, but as soon as you come on my page, as soon as you comment and talk about vaccines and how this, and I'm talking about something fun like a stupid cruise. So those of you that are on JJ's, maybe we should do the cruise because they're really, really cheap. No one wants to go on the cruise. And she's talking about freaking vaccines, how this is a forced vaccination campaign. Well, so what if it is? The Jilly Juicers can handle it. You know why? You know what's in a vaccine? You know what's in a vaccine? Viruses, bacteria, fungi, protozoa, parasites, protein, and minerals, heavy metals, everything that your body can handle on a strong body. But hey, if you're weak already, you can't handle your environment. If you can't handle viruses, bacteria, fungi, protozoa, parasites, and protein, then you might as well just say, hey, see you later. It was great knowing you. You can count your years and how long you'll be on this earth because you're not going to be able to adapt. That's what's in the vaccines. Water. And that's what humanity is made up of. Biodiversity is made up of viruses, bacteria, fungi, protozoa, parasites, and protein. Guess what your food is made up of? Viruses, bacteria, fungi, protozoa, protein, and parasites. Holy shit. And then you have an intelligence to your body. And then salt is the balancing force. Salt is the balancing force that people who want to live on the low sodium diets, people who want to attack the salts, are going to have a very shortened lifespan. People who want to stick with the pink salt because it's healthier, because it's less sodium chloride, doesn't get the J juice. So in a lot of ways, I'm glad that we were on this for 3 or 4 years, that I was on this 3 or 4 years, healed for the most part. I'm not there yet, and I know I'm not there yet. I knew in the back of my mind I'm not there yet, but I don't know what it was going to take. And I'm like, okay, whatever, we'll figure it out. But I still got to this level on the freaking heavy metal salt, which means that it's not poisonous, but you need the fucking salt. You need the salt, the sodium chloride. So this is just more of a proof, vindication, that sodium chloride is the most needed element, most needed compound in our body. Not just sodium, not just chloride, but the compound of sodium chloride. And it needs to be backed up by nutrition. It needs to be with the probiotic, with the cabbage and kale. And you're not going to have to drink as much. And it will give you so much freaking energy. You're not even going to, I mean, it's going to be insane. And it's going to accelerate your healing process. I can't tell you dosages. I can't tell you what it's going to do for you. I can't tell you shit. But when people ask me, oh my God, is it going to make me heal faster? Is it going to do this? Is it going to do that? I don't know. I have no idea what it is that you do. I have no idea what it is that you believe in. I have no idea what your lifestyle is, what your predispositions are. You know, those that, see, I had predispositions, but I didn't have as much as other people. So people who had really major predispositions really had a hard time with the pink juice because they didn't get enough of sodium chloride. They had to go deal with all those heavy metals in the pink freaking salt. But now those that have major predispositions, like let's say Christina Morris, this is going to really jump up her next level of healing. And those of you that have major predispositions or minor ones, or are so busy, which I understand, you have a lot of priorities, you do the J juice with the white salt. Holy shit. you are going to get to the next level. So the ones that actually gave me testimonies on the pink salt, or on, yeah, the pink salt, I knew were fucking die hard because they drank a shit ton of it. Just like I did. I drank a shit ton of my own juice. And I still got healing, but still I had to wade through all that bullshit, all that heavy metals. But now I know I'm gonna get to the next level. I've been holding back a little bit because I've been trying to do this thing with the book, and then trying to get you guys on board and dealing with and all this stuff with, you know, I have stuff going on, infrastructure issues going on here, which they're all good now. And then the world, you know, the world's crazy. The world's going crazy. How are we going to survive this? The Dow is dropping, you know, we're finally seeing smatterings of people getting the coronavirus. I see people on my Facebook dropping like flies, getting sick, and some will survive, some don't. People are dying all around me. I mean, you know, so this is going to be a total wild roller coaster this next few years. And so if you can accelerate your healing process on the white salt, it's going to be easier and more manageable. It's not going to be such this blooming thing. So I'll tell you what, I felt like I did plateau on my juice with the pink salt. I'm like, this is not all there is. But I couldn't figure out why it is I couldn't get to the next one. I'm like, why is it slowing down? What, isn't there something else that needs to happen? And so I'm like, okay. And then the whole Wuhan thing came. And then, oh my God, the floodgates open. So from death comes life, but you don't have to be the one to die. Okay? So when someone wants to reproduce, they're on a death trajectory. If they love maternity and love reproduction and want to slam you for knocking reproduction and maternity, it's because they embrace the death process, because they make money off that. I have people on my Facebook that are on the Jilly Juice, so to speak, doing the herbs completely. I know they don't like me. And they're only listening to Kevin because Kevin's in the holistic world. And that's Kevin's audience, is the people that are all about the love, 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 and the oxytocin and the reproduction and the herbs and the ayahuasca. Not saying that Kevin buys into that a whole 100% because he's trying to help them out. But they're going down that road, and I know it. But I have people like that on my Facebook that I know exist, but they're part of the death and reproduction world. They're not part of the Jilly Juice world. They say they are, but they're not representation. So that's why they don't talk to me. That's why they don't even acknowledge me. Not anymore, because I got on their case when they're like, oh yeah, maternity's so beautiful. So yeah, I guess it's fine. A kid's great, but now they have parasites, which is fine. You know, they're growing up. Kids have issues. You have issues. You pass it on to your kid, and all the herbs that you're giving to yourself and your child and the elderberry syrup and all that stuff, they're going to be exactly like you, because you haven't fixed your own weaknesses, because you still believe in the beauty of maternity, the beauty of drugs, the beauty of herbs, all about the love, 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 love. So yeah, so I'm vindicated. And so I have no problem. I actually have no problem with the fact that I don't really give a shit how I offend people at this point. Because you have two choices, life and death. If you choose death, then fine. Don't pretend you like life. Don't lie to me, and don't lie to your friends and be all about love, 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 and life, life, life. When you know it's bullshit, because you're all about maternity and you're all about the herbs and the drugs and all of that stuff. And you think that what I say is bullshit, fine. But don't lie to me. And those are still on my Facebook. They're in my group. I know who they are. They knew that I know who they are. Some I've kicked out of my group because they were too verbal and they're trying to infect the group with their ideas that are completely opposite of mine. But I'm giving you two choices. You have life, the white salt, without the heavy metals, or you go down that road of herbs, oxytocin, adrenaline, and loving reproduction and maternity. I mean, you can love reproduction and maternity, and that's great. But you better get your kid on the juice. You better get your kid on the juice. If not, then your kids can turn out just like you, if not worse, because this environment is too crazy. You can't afford to let your child succumb and expire in the system. So, you know, I'm aware of a lot of things out there. I'm aware of a lot of things. I haven't said too much because I don't want to offend certain people. But, you know, I don't even care anymore. At this point, I don't care who I offend. because I'm not coming from malice. I'm not coming from evilness. I'm coming from the point of life. And there are two absolutes in this world, life and death. And if you want to go down the death trajectory, you have no place in my world. If you want to go down the life trajectory, you have a place in my world. And that's it. Those are the only two absolutes. I play in the politics. I play in, whatever things are out there. I try to help people out, just making them feel better that, okay, I don't know. Because I really can't promote this. I don't promote this in the coronavirus groups that I belong to, because there's no place in there. That's why I don't want you guys promoting this if I'm around in the groups that I'm in, because there's no point. There's no point. No bullying and no self-promotion. Yeah, they're promoting all the freaking herbs. I don't care. If you want to go and ply yourself with colloidal silver and all that crap, fine, so be it. It's all freaking heavy metals. And you have heavy metal imbalances. You have mineral imbalances, and you want to give yourself colloidal silver. You want to ply yourself with elderberry syrup, more acid, more kombucha, more acid. Fine. You've chosen your path. You're afraid of the white salt because it's going to trigger your high blood pressure. Listen to your doctor. When you can make the term, you can make the 2 word, or listen to your doctor. Make 4 words sound like an insult. When you make 4 words sound like a death sentence, listen to your doctor. I'm afraid of the white salt because of high blood pressure. Listen to your doctor. I'm not your doctor. That's fine. Good luck. And that was it. And she's like, oh, hold on a second. I'll try it. Because you know what's going to happen when you listen to your doctor 100% of the time. You know what's going to happen. You'll end up just like them and all of their patients. The ones that are being archived in the back, that are going to be burned because there's no use for them anymore. But hey, if you don't want to deal with the high blood pressure, you want to deal with any heart palpitations, and you don't want to have any healing symptoms, listen to your doctor and then be archived in the next maybe 5 or 10 years or less, because the aggressive virus is right there. So it's up to you. So I don't care who I offend at this point. I don't really care, because I'm on the side of life. And if you are, great. If you're not, then whatever. So, all right. Oh yeah, here we go. I'm gonna drink this. We'll see what happens. This smells so good. This is so clean. Will I be able to drink this whole thing with white salt? Okay, here we go. That is the easiest fucking drink ever to drink in a massive form. Oh my God. That is so good. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Wow. That is straight up sodium chloride, 1% anti-caking agent. This is what Dr. Phil is afraid of, and he needs it the most. This is what Jeff Holiday is afraid of. He needs the most. This is what PewDiePie needs. This is what Pathos needs. This is what they're afraid of, but they need this the most. They're the most unhealthiest. They're afraid of fermentation with the white salt. What do they call this? The white devil? Jesus. So yeah, I've debunked everything in the holistic allopathic world. Oh, I'm so afraid of the chemicals. The holistic world, I'm so afraid of the chemicals. And guess what? The pink salt had the most freaking chemicals, at least 82 and 86 chemicals. So this is why I am vindicated. This is why at this point, I don't care who I offend. I'm going to speak my mind. I'm not going to let anybody try to correct me. Nope. No one's going to correct me. No one's going to go in and try to say, oh, yeah, you should do this, you should do that. My God. Programming runs deep out there, guys. The programming runs deep. And so now you guys, it's either put up or shut up. The environment is more aggressive. Are you going to add more energy to the protocol, or are you going to stagnate it with more of your holistic crap? Okay, the vaccines are not going to kill you. They only kill people that have absolutely major predispositions that no matter what, they're going to die if they were exposed to the virus. Nothing will kill you except for imbalances. And so with the J juice, and I have water. So when you're thirsty, you drink water. But that is the cleanest. This is the cleanest ever. And I drank straight the juice. So I'm going to just leave this right now. Might add water to it to make it like electrolyte water. But I expect now to see a totally different healing process with me. I expect to see the next level of whatever. I expect to see a lot. So, the last couple of days I've been gloating. Yes, I've been, everything that I've been wanting to say that I haven't been able to say for whatever reason, because I felt like I didn't want to offend anybody, but I don't really even care, because it really comes down to life versus death. If you love life, then you will understand why I changed the salt. You will not argue with me. You won't dispute me. You won't try to prove me wrong. You won't try to correct me. No, if you don't believe in what I believe in, then make your own page and do your own thing. But I am done with people trying to correct me. I'm done with people trying to, whatever. If I ask for help, then please help me. But if I don't ask for your help, then I don't need unsolicited advice from anybody. I don't care who you are, not even my inner circle. If I ask my inner circle for help, then fine, they can help me. But if I don't, no one's going to offer anything unsolicited. No one's going to challenge me. No, I'm done with that. You do the J juice because I've proven that the salt is the energizing force. From the 1 teaspoon back when we first started this, to then the 1 tablespoon of the pink and the sea salt, people got healing, to then the 1 tablespoon, and now to the white salt, to the next level. So we have proven from the 1 teaspoon to the 1 tablespoon of pink salt and Celtic salt to now 1 tablespoon of the white salt, and we're able to see the difference between the white salt versus the pink salt and the Celtic salt, and the white salt is far more energetic, definitely much cleaner, and you're going to get a more accelerated healing process if you choose to. So I don't think I need to prove anything to anybody. If you don't agree, don't do it. If you want to correct me, don't even bother. If you want to send me videos and all that other crap, don't even bother. Do the juice or don't do the juice. I don't care. The choice is yours. Because I'm going to tell you, if you don't choose, the virus is going to choose you. And if you don't have what it takes, see you later. Bye, everybody.